Welcome to the Infinite Life, consciousness raising, spiritual transformation. I'm your host, Katish Haberfield. I am a channel of spiritual beings who portray, display, embody, and convey higher spiritual intelligence to help us humans who are incarnated here today on Earth on our journey of not only a single spiritual awakening, but multiple spiritual awakenings. We're all here to help, and there's bound to be an episode or an entire season that will help you on your journey. So I'll let you explore them. But if you would like to work with me in a private capacity, you can head to katish.com. And thank you. Bless your soul and namaste. I wish you well on your journey. Enjoy the episode today. Welcome to the podcast, Mayra. It's wonderful to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
That's wonderful. Now, I believe you have a question for me that you would like me to ask a being in the light who is appropriately qualified to answer your question.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. So my question is, what am I here to activate?
What are you here to activate? Okay,
Yes.
that's a very specific question, so we'll ask it.
Yeah.
My process is I just simply take a deep breath in, I channel with my eyes open, and I wait for that heart-based energy to come in, and then we'll let them talk.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, Mayra, my dear. Katish actually thought, oh my, am I about to channel Mayra's soul? But no, I'm very similar to your soul, and I am very similar to your higher self, but I am not that. I am from a concept, not a civilization, a concept of consciousness that unfortunately Katish is not familiar yet because I have to use her language. So if you'll just excuse me for a second, I will just sort through her knowledge of the different kinds of beings that she has dealt with in her soul's earth-based incarnations, and I will grab a formulation or a description of how I would describe my energy as being close to.
Thank you.
Okay. This is cute. She just showed me. Do you know the movie that was all about emotions, where they had these, it was like I don't know, there was a Disney or Pixar movie she's showing me, where each emotion had a different character and they described a different emotion for children. It was probably, given the age of her children. Remember that one? Okay. So she says that I remind her of the blue one. And so what I have been able to confirm is that she sees me as a being who is here to convey your purpose and your activation. And the best way I can describe it, but it's not this, but it's very similar, and I'll explain shortly, is, sorry, she keeps looking at this blue form on a picture she took as a photograph, is emotion. I am the human equivalent of a molecule of emotion. Okay, so now she gets it. I am a thought-based being, and she says, I'm sorry, but I just do need to spend a few seconds just familiarizing Katish at the same time. She said, wow, you look and remind me of a Vedic being, crossed with the beauty of Mayra in this incarnation, crossed with the beauty of the intensity of the emotion that was described in that motion picture. So I take that as a wonderful compliment, and I hope you do as well. So as humans are here to experience and express and understand all forms of emotions. Now, emotions are molecules. They are a chemical composition which the human brain does interpret through the lens of its current incarnation and various other incarnations that has experienced as a human. Now, predominantly, the soul does not cross over and share or experience emotions and learnings from other incarnations on Earth where you are not a human being. For example, Katish, and she thinks this is funny, but it's a good example. Katish recently realized why she is so in love with wood-based essential oils. So you'll pardon us if we just explain again, but one of her favorite essential oils to go to sleep with is called cedar wood, which is from the cedar tree. And then the other one that she likes is, yes, guaiac wood, which she found a link to a previous incarnation where she was blind actually, and she takes frankincense internally every day. Now, why is that important to understanding emotions and what you are here for? And the answer is she found out through a channeling session, just like you're doing now, that she is presently also incarnated as a tree in California. So she thought that was fabulous. And she thought, why is that relevant? And the answer is that human beings have never, in her experience, for she was formerly a past life regression therapist, gone in to ask, what kind of tree have I been? And what are the lessons that I can learn from being a tree? And what kind of emotional stability can I bring forward in my sessions, in whatever modality you are practicing currently, to help my clients? And so, as I said, I am not a human-based emotion, but a form of a molecule which is like a thought. I can tell you that where I come from is out of this universe. It is not in your current universe. So you know me from what Katish would call cosmic origins. And the reason that you are here is to activate in any form of session you have, whether it be professional or personal. So it could be a daily conversation with a friend over a cup of tea or whatever beverage you choose to, I would say, imbibe. Because I find it quite funny that you pour liquid down your throat, for I am a energy-based form and I don't have an opening in where you would call your mouth space. So I find it quite peculiar that you would take an external substance and pour it into your energetic form. For I have pondered for some time while watching you, Mayra. I'm like, why does she put things in that energy that she calls her mouth? Because it doesn't make sense to me. And so I have been learning by observing you. And so what I am here to do today is to activate you so that you can now get reciprocal understandings. And Katisha's quite hot in this channeling. She doesn't often get this hot because there is nobody, to my understanding, that is in the book that you are both writing for that matches the frequency or energy that I would recommend you do a swap session with. So I'm here to activate you into the lineage of the thought form of the cosmos that I do belong to. And the purpose of that is to introduce into sessions or conversations. It's not telepathy, and it's not empathy, and it's not telepathy, because I know she knows that work as well, and it's not emotionopathy, and not thoughtfulpathy, but we will work out a terminology, and we can call it what you like, but it is a combination of understanding of the cosmos's view of thought-based forms that turn into emotions, and are felt by humans as emotions, and then the human interpretation of what an emotion is. So that does sound rather complex, and I'm afraid it is not complex, but for a human mind, it is rather bamboozling, we would say, in terms of what the heck? How? What? I don't understand. And why is this your special calling? And that is because your form that we see here now has been here quite long enough to deal with the struggles of human emotions, karma, cosmic contracts. Note I didn't say human contracts, cosmic contracts, and other forms of interpretation and validation of the energy that life goes on. And we do understand that you participated in the book for a particular reason, but we would also like you to clasp your hands together and give yourself a congratulations kind of a clap, because today you have graduated
Yes.
from your current understanding and your current purpose. So we would give you a big sticker. We can give you a star to put on your forehead, and when you accept it, you'll start to receive a transmission which will be private to you and not broadcast here on the podcast. So let us know when you can start to feel the star-based sticker come floating towards your head. And she's not sure whether you'll see it as a starfish or a sticker like a small child or a cosmic beam of starlight. You must let us know how you interpret it.
I'm just feeling a lot in my back right now.
On your back?
Yes, not my head, but a lot in my back.
Okay, so upside down,
More on
Miss
the
Jane.
left side, yeah.
Okay, upside down, Miss Jane Katish would say. I don't know if you, in her country, they had this character called Mr. Squiggle, and he would always say, or was it the blackboard? Upside down, Miss Jane, which means I have been seeing you upside down. That's even more peculiar to me, but maybe do you like water? Maybe I have been seeing you put your feet in a bath or an ocean or the shower, and your feet are very porous. And that's what I've been interpreting as water going in your mouth, but it's going in your feet. How peculiar. Anyway, I'm glad you received that. So it's not going on your forehead.
Okay.
Lucky you clarified that I've been seeing you upside down, but we do also see you as a thought form, so a collection of little squiggles, if you'd like to say, rather than a picture of a human body like Katish does see. So apologies for that,
Okay.
but I'm glad you got the transmission.
Yes, I got the sticker.
Yeah, you got the sticker. Okay, so you can see now that has gone to the place in the body where you will continue to receive further transmissions from me. And you will learn to distinguish, and this is part of the job, the happy kind of transmissions and the other emotions that you would feel as transmissions coming through. So part of your initiation, should we say, is to be able to put your hand up and say stop when you feel me transmitting something that would be equivocal of anger, rage, sadness, worry. Excuse me, she had to move some emotion, energy, or any of the you would call left-hand side spectrum of if humans put emotions on a she's seeing a ruler, but a line, and said, this is a bad emotion and this is a good emotion. So the reason is that I don't filter emotions, or what I would call the molecule of emotion, and interpret it with a consciousness that says this is a bad emotion, whereas you humans do. We know, and I know, so that's my collective soul, that many spiritual practitioners do not label an emotion as either good or bad, just as is. But what we want to be very careful with, and this is coming from Katish's soul, is that there is no additional negative emotions or molecules of consistency transferred to you that a human being would consider fear, worry, sadness, because that is not the purpose of our transmission. We know that Earth has had enough of the frequency of fear, and we come from a place where our origination or soul blueprint was to help civilizations and locations such as a star, a constellation, a weather element, or a planet. And you will have to listen to the previous episode that one comes before you, force the change of winds through, because that is something specific. And what we do is we show all of those locations and the consciousness that is and sentience on that location how to move from fear to joy and peace. And so at the time of this recording, we do know that the world is experiencing a rapid change, and that there is a kind of a split in consciousness. which some people call that word ascension. We don't know what that means, but we know that it means that some people on earth will feel angry, sad, and fearful more and more, and some
Yes.
people will feel joyful. And see, her whole body just had that kind of a don't you dare kind of reaction. We agree with Katish. Our purpose here is to transmute that kind of a silo. We would call it a silo. We don't believe that Earth has to have that option where it splits into two distinct planets or vibrations or 3D versus 5D. We find that is a polarizing opinion. And some people may listen to this podcast and they may even hit delete as soon as we say that. But we come from a location which Katish does sometimes wonder if she should go, where there is no polarity. It's not a duality either, but it is a freedom of expression. But if it's more of a learning location where you can instantaneously see, without karmic interpretation, the fear-based energy or thought form or emotion coming towards you like a storm cloud is the closest thing I could say. And then you receive a transmission, which then, if you could imagine a life review without being in the life review, a ball of information that you could spin around really quickly, take one look at, and get a lesson. And then it was as if a feather went past your nose, or somebody ground a pinch of pepper and it made you sneeze. And the sneeze is the human way of processing that lesson so that you don't spiral and go down that emotional track. So what we believe is there needs to be teachers and practitioners who can teach that to people, because we believe that if we wait for every single person to go through their karmic contracts, to reincarnate to help all the people that they need to help, to do 75 million past life regressions and then move on to other learning modalities, that it could take a very long time. And we personally are of the opinion that we don't want to see anybody, irrespective of who they are or what soul cycle they are in, go down a negative or lower dimensional or lower vibrational state of being. We believe that every soul, every form of consciousness, and every form of sentience that there is deserves to be able to instantaneously receive the information and transmute that so that they come back to neutrality. And that way they are not beholden, betrothed, and even bedraggled by karma and this polarity of right now I'm in a 3D state of mind versus, oh, I'm so pious, I'm in a 5D state of mind. And you're all human beings, you're here for a reason, but we believe that there are different ways and different people, but we want to not push, she interceded that, we would like to formulate and co-create with you and anyone else who is inspired to do this sort of work, a modality and a way of being that learns from the cosmos where we are about how not to split into this polarity, how not to say, oh, they're in a negative cycle, they're in a karmic cycle, and how not to accept that karma has to be a consequence of being a human being on Earth. So that is what I wish to tell you. That is why I will send you transmissions. And if you feel that slightest instinct that it's from the emotions that we don't wish humans to get stuck in, then you raise your hand and say stop, or you mentally say stop, and I will know that you have registered that transmission, and I will know that is a tick box for what I next needed to achieve. So it's more of an interactive transmission rather than you get a transmission, you embody it, and you wait a while, if you understand what I mean. So one of the things and the peculiarities about this opportunity is there's no manuals and there's no time frame, and it's a user opt-in situation, so you can start and stop at any time. And it will be up to you to determine how you in particular, with your personality and your hopes and dreams, wishes to activate this in this incarnation. And we will provide you guidance, and you will learn a language or a framework that will have people guided to have cups of teas with you or whatever the session will be with you. But you are not to be worried about being different to people who are helping people in soul contract situations or forced reincarnation situations, or feeling like they need to stay to help Earth, because Earth was designed to be a place not of fear. Even though it is a duality, we do wish to be part of the, it's not the right word, Earth's core memory, that it was a beautiful being in the first place before fear came. So, with that, we would like to bid you not farewell, not adieu, but a momentary space of mind, and then we will pass you back to Katish. So please note that there will be no side effects. There will be no disruption to your energy field. There will be no healing time or interruption or downtime, or what is that word they say? Integration. There's none of that with this, because this comes from outside of your cosmos. So with that, the closest thing we can say is we wish you a blessed rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so it's just we, the soul, so the collective beings that have been other incarnations for me in this lifetime. And I would like to say, well, that was fabulous. Thank you for coming on, because we certainly learned a lot in that. And we will need to ourselves sit down and digest what we would like to learn from that. But we have no former or residual karmic contracts between your soul and our soul as humans, so we wanted to make that clear. And we delight in continued contact in the future. And that is the end of the transmission for today.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello. Welcome back.
So that was fascinating.
Very interesting. I have to hear it back to really take it all in.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for coming on the podcast today. And I will send you a copy of the transcript, and the video will go live on the podcast, but I'll also send you a copy of that podcast, the video as well, so that you can play it back as well as have the transcript.
Thank you, Katish.
You're most welcome.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I will be in touch with you probably mid-April to send you instructions to prepare for the 29th. It's the 29th for me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Take care.
You.
Thanks for coming on. Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you resonated with this session and you would like to ask your own question, there are 2 ways that you can work with me. 1, you can book a private 1-question session where we focus on an area of your life and bring through a direct transmission for you. Or if you're navigating something more complex and would like a deeper level of clarity, you can book a full direct transmission session where we explore your situation in more detail, channel the guidance, and provide structured next steps. All of the details are in the links. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.